Good morning. Welcome to TO Trade Sunday session, Sunday, July 30th. Starting off with a little bit of the recap from last week, we did have the U.S. federal funds rate that did do interest rates another 0.25%, just like we kind of had priced in. Press conference, a lot of data dependent, a lot of this and that. We also had the JPY. They had the whole yield curve conversion thing. They were going to cap rates, and then they talked about their meeting, and then ended up switching it, and then the rate came out, and the kind of a lot going on with that. Next week we have the Bank of Australia bank rate that's going to come out. I'm going to call that early Asia Tuesday. I'm Central Time here, and it's just about midnight, so I'm going to call that early Asia Tuesday. You also have the Bank of England on Thursday. So that's going to be, I'm going to call pre-New York on Thursday. So pre-New York Thursday, Bank of England. And I think that should be a lot of fun. You also have U.S. non-farm payrolls. What's going to happen with that? I don't know. They're talking about looking at unemployment for the rates. I think everyone thinks they're probably going to raise rates again anyway in September. They don't have an August meeting, but they have a September meeting. So we'll see what happens with that. Looking on our 4-hour here, we just got to pop off some of these alerts here, and we'll get this pop back down. Looking at the 4-hour, we got to get over to GBP USD. That's a little idea we had coming up. If you look back, let's start on the monthly here. It's month end, right? Summer end, quarter two, quarter three, first month end. We had this big dump, with the high of June of 21. We had this big dump here, and the thing with this dump was the whole Liz Truss era, the policies, whatever. Rishi got in, been climbing back, the dollar climbing down, the pound climbing back, rotation, January, February, March, just chopping. Look at that range, just chopping in that range compared to the big swings. Then you get a little breakout chop, little breakout chop. If you look at this wick here came up for this month, and we perfectly had to clean this line up from this big drop because this was the gap that needed to get filled for a long time. And we perfectly cleaned this corner up from here to here, perfectly got this cleaned up, and we came all the way down. Now you're like, well, yeah, it kind of looks like a reversal. This is on the monthly, so whatever you're thinking here on the monthly, that holds some weight, correct? So we got this top wick up to here, this 1285 top wick, which is where the body currently is at, is this 1285. All the way up here, we broke that 131, 1315, and this body's kind of slugging in here. I think that we're either in for more rotation, kind of like we've been seeing, this rotation, 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 break, rotation, break, rotation, maybe, or the dump down. I think at this point it's fair to look at and say I think we're losing buying pressure to go more to the top side. We're dropping down to the weekly here on the GBP USD. Again, you can see this big run up, big flush down, run up, run up, run up, and then this is that rotation. But even that rotation, on the weekly, has momentum, momentum, break, flush down, break, flush down, break. And then we're kind of weak here, and then we're kind of sitting on this last candle. So I think the flush down's ready. Now, where does that flush down get to? I definitely think if we open this up a little bit, I like this kind of grab point here, and this is at like 1 2 1 2 6. Call it the quad sixes, 1 2 6 6 6 6 6. I think that's a good area for a flush down. You can see we got out of it, stayed out, indecision in it, bounced back. So somewhere maybe in this 1 2 6 area, I think we do have to come down, grab some liquidity. Let's look at here another on the daily. Now on the daily, this is what that looks like. We had this little bounce through and then a chop back. 1 day under, indecision, immediate reversal. I think this 1 2 127 down to, if you want to call it 1265, maybe we could let's just clean our box up here. 1267 flat, and then let's do 65 flat. 1267. Oh no, 127. 127, 1265 flat. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw that up here. 1265 flat. Pop that down to a 20. And then we're gonna look at this 127 flat. That's already at a 20. We're gonna pop that in there. We're gonna lock both of them. I think you can see we kind of came up, tapped into there, got down to this 1, 2, 3 level, came back up, had some real nice momentum to the upside, came back a little bit to clean back into this level, flushed all the way to the bottom, ran all the way back out of it. Heck of a run, came back down. If you do want to look at, maybe this last spike, maybe where we're at, I just have the 50%. We just got 50% past that line, and now we're just sitting below it. If you look at this daily, you can see this Wednesday was our Fed rate. So we were coming all the way down, and then we literally just creep back up enough for the Fed rate to come out for everyone to just sweep all the way down. Now, is everyone still looking for the shorts? Do we have to sweep back up? Is there going to be liquidity to be grabbed at this 1-1-3 even number? Do we have to sweep back up to it and then come down? I don't know. I want to get back on the 4-hour here. We'll get back on the 4-hour. I think you can see a really nice pattern of this high and then this lower high and then this low, lower high, lower low. We did break here, but again, to me, this is just the grab. This is just the grab OMC. And then we came back down to this low, lower high. I'm not saying that jump in, set an alert for when your broker opens, get in and dump this, but I think the moves are shorts. I think the moves until Labor Day is going to be shorts, and I think we just need to be focused on taking a short down here. If we break this, that would be the eyeballs. If we break 1.3, that would be the eyeballs on if we are going to come back up and stay kind of in this range. Or I do think this 127, 1265 is going to be a real area to hit, and not that we're super far away from here. Wow, why do I keep doing that? I keep getting the lock and the garbage all messed up. But I really think we need to, and the TradingView switched it. Do you see this whole arrow? Arrows aren't with the lines now. They updated. I mean, if you got to here, that would be the eyeballs, but I still think we got to go down. But more than likely, I'm thinking you could have a little bit of chop rotation here. I'm going to bring us to there, which is 129 flat. And then I think we come, that 1265, I really think we got to hit. I think this 128 level, really we had to flush. We didn't get it. And then we came back and then we came down. I think here we didn't break the 1275. I think we got to flush down, and I'm 100% bearish on GU. Gold, if we want to get crazy here and say we're going to look at some monthlies, gold has a lot of lines here, but gold came up, chopped. The thing with gold is it basically was so close to all these highs. Some brokers say it broke, some didn't. I think it wasn't an obvious break, so I think we're not counting it. But this August 2020 high, so close to it, so close to it. Rotation down, came up, flush back down, came up, ready to flush down, rotation. Technically, this would be a bullish bar on the monthly, which ends tomorrow, because we broke this high and didn't break this low. Do I think it just shows rotation? Yes, I think this is a engulfing bearish indecision candle that flushed down, but I don't think any of these next two candles are necessary. I mean, look at the candles before them to get up here. Look at the bullish momentum, how big these bodies are. Look at this bearish momentum, how big some of these bodies are. Lots of wicks, yeah, lots of wicks, but look how big some of this momentum is. I think, to me, gold looks like a little bit more rotation. And that's the other thing, too. You could say that GU might get a little more rotation, especially being tied in with the dollar, tied into gold, where I could see us just getting a little more rotation in gold. If we came down, I do think that 1800 level you can see is a nice level here. I've got 1810, but I mean 1800 I think is a nice level here to come down to. And this is a monthly, so I mean this could take a long time, especially if you look at the last two candles we got going on here. There's not a lot going on. We can get over to the weekly. Take a look at the weekly, and again, you see a lot of this chop fight rotation, chop fight. This is March, so you get before March, and you have these swings and swings and swings, and then you just kind of get this chop, 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 rotation, rotation, chop, 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 chop. That's a weekly. I mean, we get down to the daily, and it looks even choppier. I mean, look at that. Look at the amount of hearts that broke on really no real moves. I mean, you get in these blocks. You get in these blocks. You get in these blocks. These blocks, 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 weeks at a time, blocks. 10 days at a time of just these blocks of just garbage, rotation, rotation, garbage. Get back to our 4 hour here. Looking at our 4 hour. And I think it almost reminds me of GU. Surprise, surprise. But we get this high, we get this low, we get this lower high, we get this lower low. Now we kind of reach back into the box. That makes me think that we got to come down. And I think this 1936 would be the first level to come back to, but I think the easier flush out is 1900. I don't know if we get much for the pop up. I think if we get that pop up, I don't know if let's say 1970, I'm going to call it at. I don't think we get higher than that. And I think you got to hit 1936. And then I think what we really need to hit is I really think we need to flush back down to 1900. Maybe we're just going to cruise. We could just cruise all the way up there. But I'm throwing out, I think, a little flush back. And I think we got to get further down. I think I mean, you look at this. Look at this Wednesday, obviously kind of the nothing. Again, we kind of just rode up for it, right? We just rode the interest rate and then just hammered down. And gold really bounced a lot more than GU did, but I still think it's just ready for the drop. 100% bearish, 90% bearish on gold too. We'll get to US 500. US 500 is matches, MT5, MT4 brokers better versus SPX. So we're gonna chart this on US 500. US 500, do you got to go us back to monthlies? Why not? Right? Let's do it. Big old drop, huge ranges, big drop, huge ranges, huge ranges, huge ranges. You had that March, and then look at this monthly spread. Look at all these people trading, SPY trading. Huge bodies, wicks, bodies. And then look at this. Just the tightest little April and May, the tightest monthly candles you've ever seen. April with the body, May with just nothing but a solid wick. June explodes out of nowhere. July kind of stays the course, and then we get this little wick. This looks a lot more bullish, and I think that there's a lot more liquidity to be had at these highs. I think this 48.23, let's look at what we got. 48.19 so call it 48.20. Why don't I just clean this up right here? Well, actually, what is that? Yeah, no, that's all-time high, so we're not. So let's clean this up. Let's call this line 48.20. I think this 48.20 liquidity kind of has to be grabbed. I think we got to get up to it. And obviously, it's a monthly. So, I mean, I don't, is this going to happen before Labor Day? I don't know. But I think this 48.20 liquidity has to be grabbed. maybe we get up to it. Maybe we get up, we stay up in this, if you really look here, we got kind of a base. Um, we got kind of a base here at this 40, call it 43.33. Let's just call it the trip threes. I think we got kind of a nice base there to come back to. I just clean all this garbage up and we'll make a real looking chart here. I think this skip some squares. I think this 4-3. Let's call it 4. Let's just call it 44 to 43. Getting the coordinates here. We'll go 4,400. We'll go 4,300. I think this is going to be a nice range to not break from. If we come back down, I don't know if we break that wick. And even if we break that wick, we're still kind of stuck in that range. You could see, let's say we get back to this May top range, if you want to call this kind of a quote unquote, fair value gap here, where we got to kind of clean back into this range. That's going to be 42.50. We could definitely clean up into there. But I do think that there's a lot of momentum and a lot of pressure trying to push us into this 4,800 range again. And I don't know if we're going to chop around there. I don't know if the September rate decision sets that or what. So I would say I'm more bullish with the S&P. But of course I don't really know what's going to happen with the S&P here. We can go around the horn a little bit on a couple things. I did Bitcoin's been looking like it got that big run up. And then, oh no, hold on. We got to go back to, we didn't even break the monthly on the old S&P here. Looking at the weekly, you can see we come up, and again, like this is, from here, this is March. This is everything. This is 2022. This is movement. And just look how tight and tight and tight and tight and tight. And then you have this kind of breakout. After all this, you just have this breakout, but it's literally just the gap, the grind, the just nonstop up. Little rotation and then more grabs. That last week looked definitely more bearish. This looks like, that looks like a pretty good candle. Obviously, maybe not quite the body to it, but again, with this weekly candle, it definitely looks like more upsides to come. Go back to a daily. Obviously, Thursday was the most bearish day in quite a long time. And then Friday just broke it back again. Friday didn't care. Technically it's an inside bar. Yeah, okay. So you've got this, 45.25 low. You got this 46.100 high. The daily, I guess, would be the only thing that could maybe look bearish. But again, you're bearish on the daily, and you're a little more bullish on the weekly, on the monthly. Go back to the 4 hour here. You can see that range. That range was made in a day. That range is a 4 hour candle. We've made our whole range in 3 candles. So that's 12 hours. 12 hours, we made our whole range. I don't know. Is that going to be the range to watch? I guess if we're gonna put something on here, do we put something at this, 45.27 to 46.06? We put something on here, and do we kind of try to see where we break in here? A little bit of the same momentum, but definitely not as clean as what I think GU looks like. So yeah, I'm gonna say on US 500, I don't know. I don't know if I got it one way or the other as much as I feel as good about GU and about his gold. Go to Bitcoin here. Go to Bitcoin on the 4 hour. Had that big grab. A lot of different stuff. A lot of different news coming out with Bitcoin. Obviously all the regulations with the funds are trying to make Bitcoin funds, and you still have the XRP thing going, getting somewhat cleared or totally cleared, or you got guys getting chopped up in suitcases. If you haven't heard about that, just Google crypto suitcase dismembered and you'll find it. A lot of different things going on, and I do think that it's definitely more accepted, and it's going to become more into the lexicon. I know Elon Musk switched Twitter to X, and he says X is going to have mobile payments through it, and it's going to have storage, and it's going to have so. I don't need to be another one of the 1,000 guys telling you that Bitcoin could go somewhere, but I think there's enough volatility in it. I don't think there's anything wrong with trading it. And I think you can watch out for it. I mean, again, you have them breaks, rotation, rotation, rotation. But that's the thing is I really cut my teeth in a lot of this rotation. Um, if we want to go on the way back machine, I really cut my teeth in a lot of this. I actually started with Doge, but it was a like 23 cents to 27 cents, and it literally just 23, buy it up, 27, sell it down, buy, and the thing, you can get so much trading done in these ranges. Um, Stops are hard. Stops are hard because you get big wicks down. I mean, these would have held, but you get this wick down, would have popped you out there if you shorted back down. Here's the breakout. We're still just stuck in this breakout. See, when you're short, when it totally paid. So it's different. Um, but I think there's still a lot. Like I said, those ranges there that they range, they're such decent ranges and they range for so long. If you can get something, the problem, I was a crazy person. I wasn't using leverage when I was trading Bitcoin. If you can get some decent leverage on an MT4, MT5 on a good broker, and you can get a good system, I think there's a lot of these ranges to be had, especially if you did end up getting a short and if you wanna cut and switch, or if you wanna try to hold 10%, throw one in, cut 0.9 and just let 0.10 ride, and then obviously that's where you get a lot of these swings. But I don't think Bitcoin's done swinging. I think especially we're going to get a lot of institutional money pushed into it. If you want to go around the horn too, we'll look at GJ. JPY, all JPYs kind of were the same. I was watching that Bankrate decision live that night. Got a couple scalps in during the day because the action was more during the day on the yield curve conversion, um, interest rate capping versus the actual statement and presser. But GJ had all that move and then came back to nothing. If you want to look at UJ had all that move, wick up, wick down, wick up, came back to nothing. If you want to look at AJ Bankrate, AJ is the only thing that really stuck a little more, I would say. Then if you look at this 4 hour, you can see obviously it's Australia. I think anything Asian has a lot more chop, a lot like the candles are just always 10 times bigger, and I don't know, I don't love the chop, but you can see a lot more defined kind of momentum here in the flush out, and it didn't get all the way back to where it was. It seems like everything else did. I don't do a ton of the yen, but if you're looking at it, and then we'll look at WTI. Obviously, I think a little more gasoline was the mover for the week, but we clean up some of them no trades, some of them. Uh, I think the thing is we broke out of that 75. We were in this box, right? We were in this 70, 75, 67 box for a while. And we broke out and we flushed down, and we're back to breaking out again. We zoom out a little bit on the 4 hour here. We got some good highs here at 82. So let's just pop something on this. Let's just get right to 82. Let's pop something on that 82. And then let's pop something on 85 here. And then let's pop something on 90. Which again, we're just off all these big numbers, right? I mean, this 89.3 is really the number, 84, but I think you can get close enough to the psych numbers. Obviously that depends on a lot of your broker, a lot of whatever. But I think you get close enough to these big psych numbers. Oil seems like it's got tons of room to go up. I mean, if you want to zoom out a little bit and you talk about looking to the left, I mean, we've got so much room to go, so high. Russia, Ukraine's been a big thing with that. Obviously, the Nord Stream, bombing, wink, wink, was a big deal to do with that. Um, but I think if oil wants to run, I'm obviously not the king of oil here. by any means. I actually hate. I don't trade a lot of oil because I got really chopped up when I started it. Got a little really chopped up in this environment, and kind of drove me nuts. I think it's a lot different than a lot of different things. But if you're looking at it, I think it's got a lot of room to go up. The VIX, we did have some movement. I'll actually pop back down to DXY. Let's just real quick before we leave here. DXY, we kind of got this big trend line. It really works out nice. This big channel we got from that, January highs. But DXY, this 102-ish range looks like that could be the next real area here. And I know, the DXY is an index, not an indicator, but we got right up into this kind of supply area, just about hitting this trend line. To me, that's, I don't know if we can get a lot of momentum to get out of here, or if you rotate and get stuck in it and then drop. Again, I know it's the DXY and it's reflective of everything else, but I do think it's something to look at that we are kind of at a decent zone here. This 102-ish zone, this 4-hour trend line, comes back all the way to, September 22. So I think that's where something to look at. And then we're just going to take one quick look at the old VIX, because the old VIX actually broke that 15 range on Thursday. I don't have it on this one, but we did have the line right at 15, and we broke that fifth. Oops, I don't know. I keep doing that right now. We broke that 15 line. We just tapped it. What did we get? 1502, just enough to make the alerts go out. But we did hit that 1502, came back down. If you look, and we back out to, let's say, a daily here. Is that, yeah, that'll give us enough. If you look, we aren't at the lowest lows here. So, we kind of talked about the VIX a little more before, but I'm having a lot of fun looking at it. I think it really shows you, you had that big grab out, bust out for July, back to nothing, rotate. We looked at how small all those other candles got once we got below that 20 line on the VIX after March. All them candles on the daily got small. On the US 500, S&P, everything got small. So I think it's definitely worth watching. I think we're at a point here where a lot could happen or nothing could happen. And you could say that's a cop out, but I think you just got to sit here and you just got to watch. Don't spend less, just earn more.